It's about 6 o'clock. It is cold. I think it's supposed to be 12 degrees tonight. It's like March 5th, I think. It's not quite planting season for us. I am growing some plants indoors, but I want to talk about why we don't use pesticides or herbicides on our farm. Some of those reasons might surprise you. First and foremost, we have tons of animals. So we have horses, dogs, cats, chickens. Did I say goats? We have 2 pet mini pigs, quail, other assorted critters. So we don't want our animals coming into contact with dangerous chemicals. You don't want to have your horses eating hay or grass that's been sprayed. That would be a big mistake. We also grow some of our own food, especially in the spring and summer and fall. And I mean, we use the grocery store. But at a grocery store, you don't really know much about that plant or that food. At least here on our homestead, I know exactly where that food is coming from. And I'm sure I eat lots of food that's been sprayed with pesticides, but on my farm, I know that I'm not. So again, I want to protect our animals, but also the health of our family. Another reason is I care about the wildlife. I want to protect the wildlife as well. It's called bioaccumulation, which is what happened to pelicans and bald eagles and ospreys in the 60s. You've probably heard of DDT and other pesticides. They were meant for insects, but bioaccumulation, as a larger predator eats smaller prey, that chemical builds up until the top predators have so much of that chemical that it's going to affect their survival rate. And with eagles and pelicans, it made their eggs a lot thinner, so that when they sat on their eggs, they actually were cracking some of their own eggs, which is horrible. So I care about the wildlife in my area. I don't want to do anything that's going to put my local environment in jeopardy. So another reason, though you can't really see it, we have a tiny little spring here, and this spring starts on our property. So I feel like I'm kind of the steward of this little creek, and it's my job to keep it clean. So again, by having pesticides in a creek or near a creek, you are threatening wildlife and water quality further down. So, man, it's such a pretty creek right now. There's actually a decent bit of water in there, nothing crazy. So what do we do to battle insects and pests? Because they are a problem, and you don't want to grow food and have it lost to to pests, right, to insects mainly. I'm trying to use some natural processes to keep insects down. One is right here. This is a golden ticket, people. Does anyone know what this is? This is a praying mantis egg sac. This was on one of our apple trees. So this is a sign that you have an organic farm or garden if you get praying mantises to lay their egg sacs on your own trees. It's pretty awesome. We tend to find these 3 or 4 around the house every year, which is pretty cool. I'm sure we could find more if we really looked for them, but usually I find them when I'm pruning a tree. I have also used bat boxes. I have a bat box up on the barn right now. We have about a dozen bats that hang out above our house in the spring, summer, and fall. And bats can eat their entire weight in insects every single night, so that's pretty amazing. I'm also starting to learn more about companion planting. There's lots of plants you can plant together that will not only complement each other, but can ward off insect host of other plants. So I'm learning more about that. So another really important reason that we don't use pesticides is basically by using pesticides, you're helping to breed a super pest. So it just goes back to natural selection. Whenever, for thousands of years, our ancestors have bred animals, chickens, dogs, right? Dogs are all, most people still consider dogs to be the same species as wolves, but people have bred them over thousands of years for certain traits, right? That's what people are doing with pesticides. You could spray an entire field, but you're not going to kill every single insect. There's going to be a small part of that population that is most likely going to survive. And the reason they survive is they are more or less resistant to that pesticide through their own DNA, through their own genes. So right, through their own genetic diversity, they are able to resist that pesticide. So what happens after a few generations of insects, the only ones left are the ones that are resistant to the chemical you've been spraying your field with. That's kind of a reason large companies like Monsanto got into GMOs to genetically alter plants so they were resistant to pesticides and herbicides so that they could spray and those plants would survive. Or some of the GMOs are so they're just resistant to the actual pests themselves. So by using pesticides, you're actually kind of making the problem worse because you are helping to breed a super pest, which is not a good thing. Another reason is I'm hoping to make a little money on my farm. And it's nice to say, hey, this was raised organically. I'm trying to get into elderberries, so I'm not going to be spraying my elderberries. And we also have bees. Bees are dying at an alarming rate. One of the factors that is affecting the bees is most likely the use of pesticides. So these are all the reasons I don't use pesticides on our farm. If you have any comments, if there's other reasons you can think of, I would love to hear them. I'm trying to be as organic on our farm as I can. And another reason, I don't want to spend money when I don't have to. I'd rather let nature fix the problem for me. So until next time, my hand is about to fall off. It's not purple, but it's cold. I'm gonna go inside. See ya.